S Lighty on the mic. Got a story for you of two lighties who collided, making dreams come true. Now we're creating a new journey, and we want to bring you, cause it ain't all about us, it's all about you too. We'll be repping while we step in lifestyle, culture and bants. And for this road, trust me, we had to put on big girl pants. So tune in and show love so we can love you right back. Hope you already got that loving in this fleeky intro track. When madness steals you away, we're gonna bring you right back. Now here's two lighties coming through. Get your popcorn, cause we've got you.
Hi, my lighter.
Hi. See, I wanted to like stroke you and stuff, and you're just like squashing up my hands in it, like, no, don't stroke me.
You literally can't help it.
Wow. You know, you're very strokeable.
Thanks.
I won't be like those people that stroke your hair, because no, you don't
touch it.
Yeah.
No, you could touch it if you're going to braid it, but...
Ooh, right to that. Shall we move on?
Better, aren't we? If you're not going to commit to it. So we are back with another video, another conversation. A deep conversation, I feel it may be. We are going to discuss unpicking conditioning.
Big topic.
Big topic. It does feel relevant though, because last year was the year of the snake. I personally still feel like I'm doing a lot of shedding of insecurities that I've developed through life, of preconceptions that I've kind of had of this image of myself. And it's actually interesting, it's only over the last few years that I've really realised that that image that has been created of me has been moulded by a lot of other people in my life. And I think now I am very much on this journey of trying to find peace and trying to achieve a more authentic way of living. That I'm like, okay, I've got a lot to unpick.
Yeah, when you go digging into those boxes and back into those areas, deep in the mind, deep back into the past, it's a lot, it carries a lot.
Yeah. If I actually said to you, where did some of your conditioning come from? Like what sources? Who would you say? Where would you say?
Do you know what? It's kind of weird, because even when we were sort of like thinking about this topic before, this is a bit of a 360, I guess, because I feel a bit like in some ways I didn't have any conditioning, and I'll explain that. Because when I was actually thinking about it before, you know, we got on camera talking, I was just kind of like, I didn't learn certain things that would be conditioning, like, you know, how to look after my hair, how to love my skin, how to cream my skin even. I wasn't taught how to be confident. So there kind of was a lot missing when I actually thought about it, which is, I don't know, just kind of, it was kind of weird and a bit scary. And yeah, I mean, when I think about it, I'm not a makeup of my birth parents. I'm a makeup of quite a lot of other people, I would say, and my adopted mum, definitely. Thank God for her. Shout out, mum. Love you.
Yes.
Love you to the max, to the moon and back. But you know, my conditioning really came from other people, and I know it might sound weird, but it was friends, it was people who I hang out with. You know, I was learning stuff from them that I should have been taught in my household but wasn't. And my mum taught me a lot, my angel mummy. But yeah, there's things that you can only, I guess, learn from other people, and then learn about yourself from other people as well. So yeah,
my parents played a massive part, and my mum absolutely amazing in moulding me into like the strong, resilient woman that I am today. So absolutely shout out to our Liz. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes, I've met our Liz and she's amazing, so yeah.
When we talk about conditioning and unpicking conditioning, I think it's interesting because there's a lot of things that, you know, I feel like I do need to pull back on, because work ethic, for instance, is an amazing conditioning that I had, but I push it to the extreme, like to the extreme where I am like, I don't know when it's bad for me.
Before you go ahead, I'm going to ask, why do you feel you need to do that?
I think it began, I wanted to prove to other people, like, yeah, like I am that person that you think I am, where I'd overachieve and I'd be able to do something and do it well. And then, you know, I think there's then a bit of a pressure of you move to the next stage and then you move to the next stage and you're constantly progressing. But then I think it became something for myself where I have got quite an obsessive personality. And yeah, it just gets to the point where sometimes if I'm doing something, I'll need a wee, I've not drank, I've not eaten, and I'm sat there like, you're actually really uncomfortable and in pain right now, but I'm still like, no, continue. And it's not something bad that I was taught and how I was raised, but again, it's a conditioning where I'm like, I need to pull back on that to make sure that it can align with the more authentic life that I want to live now, which is ultimately bettering my health, being joyful, finding peace with myself.
Yeah, very important stuff. Do you ever feel like you had to prove yourself because of the colour of your skin?
Oh, yes. Whether it was conscious or subconscious, I think a big source of my conditioning was one of the first workplaces that I was in, where I very much developed in my career, and you know, I very much enjoyed my time there, but I was one of the youngest people there when I started. I was one of the only people of colour. It sends a bit of a shiver at me looking back now, because I used to act in a particular type of way that felt like fit the box that I was in, if that makes sense. But I ultimately, again, like, just even when I became my own woman, I was always trying to fit the image that other people had of me, rather than kind of developing my own identity.
And what was that image? What do you feel that that woman needed to be like? How did she need to act? How did she need to show up?
She needed to look good. She needed to act proper.
Ooh, proper. Sorry, I've got to like hold you on that word now. What is acting proper, please?
I think again, this does probably go back to the fact that when I was younger, I probably like didn't want to step out of line. Like, I always wanted to please my mum and dad. I always wanted to people please. Like, this is a big thing for me. Like, this is the biggest thing that I'm trying to unpick. People pleasing, like, full stop, which I've got so much better at. But, you know, I just wanted to show up proper in the eyes of other people.
Like doing well.
Yeah, doing well and showing up as, you know, in a way where, this is going to sound terrible, but you know, where I may be complimented.
But complimenting is not a bad thing. Is it kind of where you wanted to be complimented, so you're like, okay, I know I'm doing something right then. I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think it's the whole thing of verification of the fact that I'm on the right track. Or I'm doing what I should be doing. And again, this sounds terrible to actually think back to the person who used to very much think like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like recognition for you that, you're doing the right stuff and you're doing good. And do you feel like you sought that quite a lot? From people? Parents, you mentioned especially. And
parents, like, love my mum to bits, and you know, I think I would push it to the point where I'd always do what she wanted me to do. Rather than always doing what I wanted to do. And again, I think that doesn't just go for my mum, but that goes for a lot of people. If I was in a situation where someone would want to do something, or they may be a little bit more confident or forceful in that situation, I would kind of put what I wanted to do at the bottom of the pile.
Wow.
Yeah. And again, like, it's interesting, like, I'm very much still going through that whole process of shedding a lot of my people pleasing and just really like raising my boundaries up to a more comfortable place, just to make sure that I can protect that whole idea of the identity that I want for myself. And
protecting who you are now, and that needs to be protected with, it needs to be guarded, totally, because
it does. And it's interesting because I think I've only really developed this self-awareness by, first of all, going through such a trauma as cancer, and then second of all, becoming a mother.
Yes.
Because I'm like, wow, I need to make sure that I'm first of all like giving my daughter the space she needs to like become her own person, whilst obviously guiding her and making sure I can encourage her to be a good person. But you know, I think a lot of the things that I feel a bit icky about in terms of my past, I want to make sure that I don't pass any of that onto her.
Yes, and you know what, this is so important because I think we've talked about this before, the kind of traditions that become a conditioning. And you know, I always say to people, like, you know, your kids are, and I know people don't like when I say it, but it's the truth, that you're a vessel and they come through you. Like, they are their own person, like you don't own them, you are there to guide. And I know people think it's weird when I say that, but that's what it is. And you'll find it out if you don't believe it. You'll find it out later on, because your kids will always, they're going to grow up, they're going to grow into their own little person, and they are going to come and check you. They definitely will. You will have to answer to your kids when they get older, and they will have many questions, and they will dig out your insecurities and all kind of things. So but I think it's very admirable that you are you know, making sure that you don't pass on any traits that you know think wouldn't be good, like for your daughter going forward. I think that's a very admirable thing, because
thank you.
No, it's the truth. And you know, you parent beautifully, you really, really do. I've always said that to you. I really respect and appreciate the love and how you show it to your daughter, because you do parent so well. You do. It's so interesting sitting here listening to you talking about the people pleasing, because it was just making me think about me whilst listening to every word of what you were saying. And I'm just like, I was just totally the other way, and I don't think I realised how much until I was thinking about when I was younger, and you know, you wanted to people please, and I don't want to like out myself, but I was a rebel. I was definitely a rebel. I got to a certain age and I was kind of like, no, I want to be my own person. And I think that was because I was kind of, so maybe there was some conditioning here, like when I was told to do my Irish dancing, and don't get me wrong, I loved Irish dancing. I did it for about 8 years, and I was at a really high standard with it, and I loved it. But it got to this stage of I was doing it every single day, and that's what it was. And I kind of guess I fell out of love with it, because I got to my teenage years and I was like, no, I want to be a teenager now. And then it was like, no, you can't. You know, you need to keep to this standard. So I basically would go to school, come home, and I remember having the most disgusting thing, cup of soup. Then I'd have to travel like 2 to 3 hours to go to my dance class because of traffic, and they were all in different places. Because I started going to a really brilliant dance school. And then when I got to that higher standard, where I started going to the world championships and stuff like that, it was then all very obsessive over the dancing. So every single night it was that, in from school, cup of soup, maybe a sandwich, and then off to dancing. You'd spend like 2.5 hours at the dance class, and then you get home at 11:30 and it was bed, and then go dancing again.
Jeez.
And then even at the weekends I had private dance lessons, or because I was in a team as well, and I was in 2 teams. There was a girls team, all girls, and then a boys and girls team. So I would then be dancing on the weekends as well. So it was just crazy. Like, I had no life, and I was like, I want to be a teenager now. I actually liked running, which I didn't get to do, so that's another story. But yeah, so then I started to then rebel, and that's when I would say I started to find myself and find out that, you know, there was different things, and I just wanted to explore everything. I really did. And, you know, one of the things was, you know, I then started to build a relationship with my angel mum, who was actually my dad's goddaughter. And we used to visit her, not very often, but I just loved her. Like, she just, you know, when she would come to see me, she just had this different energy, and she was loving. I remember she gave me a kiss on the cheek, and I remember thinking, what is that? Like, that was so nice. And a hug. And there wasn't much hugging that went on in my house. You know, growing up, I remember my dad sort of used to put his arm around me and pat me on the shoulder. And then, you know, my birth mum didn't really have a relationship with her, didn't have a good relationship with her growing up. And, you know, there wasn't really that love. And then, you know, this beautiful woman just like came into my life, gave me a kiss on the cheek, would hug me. She always had great energy. And then, you know, she just taught me so many different things, like going to her house, hearing reggae music playing every Saturday. And it was just like, wow, like, this is, I belong here.
Your mum's house sounds like a vibe.
Oh, it's always a vibe. It's even a vibe now.
Yeah.
But back then, there was always people around. There was always good food. You know, there was rice, peas and chicken. We had rice and chicken all the time. But me and, you know, like my brothers and sisters, her sons and daughter, we loved it. Like, it was just, yeah, I remember rice and chicken and Mace hot chocolate. If anyone remembers Mace, the corner shop, they might not. But yeah, it was, we just used to have this hot chocolate, and I used to make frothy hot chocolate for my brothers. But it was just like, it was just different. And then you'd have your bun and cheese at Easter, and you'd have, you know, just all these kind of traditional things that didn't happen in my house. And I loved it there and always wanted to be there. And I started to, I don't want to tell my whole life story, but yeah, I did, you know, kind of run away to there a few times. Then my dad came to look for me. I was hiding under the table. So yeah, it kind of went like that. And I just wanted to be there. And her love, I am definitely a makeup of her in lots of ways. Like, her love, she taught me how to love. I would definitely say that. She taught me how to love myself. She just taught me so many things that just gave me confidence and taught me to feel happy in my own skin. And, you know, yeah, it was just, I guess it was, wow, just everything to me. And then school, when I lived in my house growing up, I remember having a friend who was probably my birth mum and dad's worst nightmare, because they never taught me about being black. There wasn't really anything cultural growing up. I remember listening to like country and western music, and I know black people did listen to quite a few country and western singers in that time. I think Charlie Pride, I remember, was one of them. But it was just kind of like, there was no reggae, there was no ragga, there was no rare groove, none of that kind of music. And, you know, I didn't, because of my Irish dancing, there wasn't really any black people. So it was always like all your friends were white. And that's where I was most of the time. So, you know, there wasn't many black people in my primary school. And then when I got to secondary school, there were loads of black people. Like, it was a great school. And I was like, wow, okay, like, what's going on here? You know, and I was drawn to black people because I'm black. And that was where I was meant to be, kind of thing. And I remember having this friend called Elisa, and I brought her home, and she was my birth mum and dad's worst nightmare, because she was African, she was loud, she was animated, she was hilarious, and I loved her. I loved everything about her. I loved everything about the way I was around her, because I was myself, and we were just like best friends. And I thought she was amazing. I remember she came to my house, and it just didn't like go down well, and I was just like, what's the problem? Wow. You know, like, I loved her, and it was just kind of like, you know, who's that kind of thing. And I was just like, I didn't get it. Like, it was just all so confusing.
Like, I still don't get it. Like, just a bizarre way to think.
Yeah, to be, yeah. She was who I was drawn to. She was who I adored. You know, she probably kind of got me into the first things about culture and teaching me about her mum. And I remember she used to say, like, when her mum beat her with the slipper, and I was just so fascinated by everything. I just loved it. And, you know, we talk about different stuff, and it was just like, yeah, this is where I belong. And the more I felt like that, the more I wanted it. And yeah, the more I moved to where I was meant to be, to my black side. And that's what it was, you know. And it was just like, I only knew one side, and I don't know why my parents were so happy to keep it that way. Like, I didn't get it. Like, why was my black side not, you know, shown to me? Why was I not taught to love it? Or I think I would have naturally loved it anyway, but it just wasn't there. So you know, there was, I guess, a conditioning there from that sense. Maybe I was conditioned. I mean, I'd go as far to say I grew up like a white child, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, you know, it's different now, and I'm glad I did find where I belong. And you know, my angel mum taught me that in so many ways, and yeah, she just always taught me to love myself and always loved me, which was a massive thing for me in my life. So yeah, I don't know where I'd be without her, and and her partner as well, my adopted dad. So yeah, they're amazing.
I think when it does come to unpicking conditioning, I was quite apprehensive to even have this conversation because it's my truth and it's what I'm going through at the moment. But I think the majority of my conditioning was just so beautiful, and I was raised in a very loving household, and you know, still feel as much love as I always have. It's so interesting where your conditioning and unpicking of conditioning very much focuses on. I think for me, it's more so in terms of like insecurities that I've developed. And I think a big one, which I don't necessarily have as much anymore, but it's, what are people going to think? What are people going to think if you do this, you do that, you don't do this, you don't do that? And that has been a big one for me, where I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just noise, it's irrelevant. It's more important that I trust my gut and I go with what feels authentically right for me, versus doing something which is based on what someone else is going to say, or you know, being caught up in someone else's judgments.
And that's all there. It's just insane that it is their judgments and their opinions and their problems that you should not be interested in, because you're about you, and what's important is what's important for you. How you want to be, how you want to show up, not how someone else is going to make you feel because of their opinions. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but at the end of the day, if you're happy with what you're doing, you're happy within yourself, and as long as you're not hurting anyone else, then you're doing great. Make yourself happy.
And I'm grateful that I've got to the point now that I'm in my 30s and I'm in this place where I am shedding a lot of those concerns that I had for other people. Like, don't get me wrong, the people in my life that are close to me, that I love and who love me, I will always very much value their opinion and, you know, be open to their guidance. But I think it was getting quite toxic in a way, where I was like, oh, if I do this, what are they gonna think? Or you know, being afraid to say no. I think that's been a big one as well, where I just don't have that anymore. I think if someone asks me to do something sometimes, and before I even realise I've said no, I've actually said no. And I'm like, check me out. But you know,
you out, the no girl.
Don't
say no to me though, yeah.
Okay, moving on.
I keep saying yes to me because I only ask you for good things, so you should always say yes.
Touche. But I think that's a big one, like, you know, just not being afraid of what people are going to think. Like, if it feels right for you and it's something that you want to try, or it's something that you want to do, then take the risk. Not being as risk averse. Again, something that I don't think you've probably really experienced in your life.
I was a people pleaser at one time. You know, I did worry about what people thought or what they would say. You see that obviously you are a minority in colour, you know, and you talked about the conditioning in work, and you kind of realised that maybe how you talked out on the street, no one talks like that in the office, and when you try to talk like that, they look at you funny, so you're a bit like, oh, okay. So, you know, you kind of have to adjust things, and I will call that professionalism. I don't want people coming at me now saying, oh, you changed yourself and adapted, you know, to talk like people in the office. It wasn't like that. It was just kind of like, you know, the street is the street and the office is the office.
Yeah, there's a difference between, you know, like changing yourself and then being professional.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to adapt to the environment that you're in, especially when it's to earn your money.
No, that's right. And I was, you know, 18 years old then, so you know, it was kind of like I did have to learn professionalism and that it was a bit different, and you know, just how to work hard and you know, do what you need to do, always make sure you had your work done. And you know, you do kind of notice as well that you are treated differently. You know, there were some interviews that I went to that I didn't get, and you were kind of like, I know I was the best person for the job, why didn't I get this? But then I went from that to going, actually it's your loss, because as I went on and got more confident and realised that, you know, you are looked at differently because you're black, you're treated differently because you're black, I feel like you have to work a lot harder and prove yourself more. And then I would work really hard, and then I got to a stage where I was like, you know what, I know that I'm good at this. So, and this is not in a cocky way, it's confidence.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know that I'm good at what I do, so if you don't give me the job, it's your loss, not mine.
It's a big thing for me and for a lot of people that I know have struggled with the whole idea of, you know, conditioning and then growing into their own person. The whole idea of follow the mainstream. Why do you want to stand out and do something different, or why do you want to do something that's a little bit more risky? Just wanting to do something different for yourself. When it actually goes back to the workplace though, I think that actually played a big role in conditioning me.
I'll say.
Because I think as soon as you get on the career ladder, the expectation is that you carry on going, you stay within that career, within that box.
Yeah.
You don't do anything different, because it's like, what? You did a degree, you spent all that time studying for your degree, you're really going to waste all that time now and do something different? And I think a big thing for me in terms of being less, stick to the mainstream and being more risk averse is definitely my partner now, because he will put his hand to anything. He is not afraid to try something new. He is so ambitious, so driven, and if I actually would say to him and question it and challenge him on it, I love doing that, because he'll come back with so much confidence, and it's from the heart, and he's just not got any fear when it comes to trying anything new.
Love that.
And that has been a big thing for me, in actually being like, do you know what, all these ideas that I want to try, it doesn't matter if they don't always work, or it doesn't matter if I need to try a million things until I find two lighters. Because you've got to go through that whole process, haven't you? And it doesn't matter what people say along the way. But that has been a massive thing for me. A big part of my shedding has been shedding the do the mainstream, do the less risky route, and you know, actually just doing what feels authentically right. Like, that has been a massive insecurity and conditioning that I'm trying to still unpick, really.
And that's why that's beautiful that you've aligned with someone who can, you know, give you that confidence and show you like the way to do it, and show you it in yourself as well, because it's in there. But like you said, you've been conditioned to know the route you're supposed to, and then it just kind of like dampens down our creativity and the things that we really want to do, because it's like, oh, is that a bit too big? You know, maybe I should just, you know, stay at this level kind of thing. This is safe here. But no, like, you need to venture out. So I'm really glad that, you know, he's been able to kind of show you those ways and show it to you within yourself. So you can like step out and be like, yeah, I'm good. And that's what's so important as well, like having a partner that's like that, because, you know, if you've got a partner and you're together, and, you know, and some people are happy with this, they're happy to just go to a certain place and be like, I'm cool, get married, have 2 kids, get a mortgage and a car, and then they're good, you know. But then sometimes you want more, and it's okay to want more. Like, I feel like people make you feel bad, like, oh, you've got all of that, why aren't you happy with that? And it's not that you're not happy, you just want more. There's something in you, like a drive, a creativity, and I do think a lot of the time it is our creative. People who don't get it, it's because they're not meant to. It might be because they're not creative, or they can't see that for themselves. Like, we've talked about this before, but you should be able to just jump out and be like, I want to do this. And it's great to have a partner that's creative as well and is like that, because you will both excel. Like, you should always encourage each other to do what you want to do in life, whatever it is, and however big it seems. Like, just go for it. Like, if you failed, like, so what? But if you got there, then amazing.
Yeah. And whether it's your partner or whether it's someone else, I think it is so important to have people around you who are encouraging and open-minded.
Yeah.
Because it can be really disheartening, like when you are around people who, you know, want to bring your idea down or want to bring your ambition down. But it is good actually to be in these situations now where you're tested with people's evil eye or people's judgment or people's negativity, because I think once upon a time I'd be like, oh my gosh, like that's what they think, that's what people think, whereas now it's just a sit and smile situation.
It's like grinning at that.
It's just a sit and smile situation where I'm more so thinking, you don't need to put any pity on me or my situation. It's more so like, kind of like rebounding back on you, because I'm like, the fact that you're even thinking that and you've got those thoughts, it's more of a concern for you, like I was saying. But it is so interesting, like that whole idea of what will people think. It's a big one for people, and it's something that stops people from progressing or trying something new, from exploring, from, you know, like that creativity or excitement that they've got inside.
And like, I just think, why should you live your life based on someone else's opinion of how you should live your life? Like, why would you do that? It's your life for a reason, and you're supposed to live it and do whatever you want to do. Like, I don't believe we were put on this earth to come here. Yes, I do believe we were supposed to reproduce. I do believe that we're supposed to, you know, marry each other and have a partner who will support you and, you know, support you in your ventures and your life, whoever that may be. And I don't believe that you were supposed to like limit yourself and just go, right, go to work, get a job, get paid a certain amount, which is just enough to cover the bills and sort of survive, and then have some kids and get married, and then and then retire and then die 6 years later, because the average age after retirement is 6 or 7 years. Like, I don't believe that at all. We were put here to thrive, to build, to have a good life. Like, you're supposed to live, you're supposed to have fun, enjoy it, and do all what you're meant to do, like everything. Like, everything you dream of, you shouldn't limit yourself. Like, when we're a kid, right, and we want to be everything, don't we? We're like, you might even want to be a princess, or you're like, I'm going to be a doctor, and you believe like you can do that. You believe you can do anything as kids. You could probably believe you can fly.
Did I tell you I wanted to be a window cleaner? I mean, I know.
Oh,
I know.
Why? Did you have dirty windows or something?
I think it was more so I found like the whole movement, quite therapeutic. I think I probably should just like bring that childhood dream to fruition and get one of those things for my shower.
Oh yeah, the squeegee.
I feel like I still need to take
I've
that
got
off.
one of those. You can clean my shower if you want. I'd be more than happy for you to clean my shower. Ooh. Excited. Wow.
You're excited.
Yeah, you're going to clean my shower.
I mean, I feel like I need to buy my own and do it.
You could buy your own and clean my shower. I don't mind, but I have got one. You could start today.
I mean, it's been a great chat. I'm so pleased we got into this deep conversation about unpicking conditioning.
Okay, but you still want to clean my shower? Wow. I feel like you wanted to be a window cleaner, and now you don't want to be a window cleaner. Well, you didn't be a window cleaner, and now you got so excited when you said it again. Then I got excited you're going to clean my shower, and now you're not excited anymore. Why is that?
Because, this whole idea of just like following your own dreams and ambitions and kind of like not falling in line with what someone else wants. I feel like you're trying to take over my childhood dream right now.
But you said you wanted to clean a window. Sorry, is it because it was the shower and not a window? Yeah. You can clean my windows as well. They're quite dirty.
I feel like you're not taking the hint.
I've got some spider webs.
Sure you want to expose yourself to that. Good chat.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed it. What were your experiences of unpicking conditioning? if you do have some that you'd like to share, we want to hear them, because this is a topic that I think we could revisit again and do more on. So let us know your experiences and how you did unpick them as well. That's really interesting. But we'll be back soon with another Two Lighties chat.
We will. See you soon.
See you soon.